So with that, let's jump right in. So where do we start? So let's start, since we are talking about structuring. Imagine you're a brand new seller and you're setting up a PPC campaign for a parent listing with a few variations. So walk us through, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's a good question and a good place to start. I'm actually going to back up even further than that before we even get to this specific example and really break down what we're even talking about here. When people say campaign structure, what do they mean? What are they talking about? Really, when it comes to campaign structure, it's just two things one thing you're really trying to decide is how aggregated or how segmented you want your data to be. Is all this is. This is a conversation around aggregation versus segmentation. Okay, so people have a lot of different approaches, and they all fall somewhere on this spectrum of aggregation and segmentation. So let me give you two ends of the spectrum to start. So on the immense aggregation side of things, you'll have things like catch-all campaigns. So these are basically all your products inside one ad group, inside one campaign, and all the performance data for those products is aggregated under one campaign. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum, which is segmentation, is you'll see people talking about using single keyword campaigns or only using exact match campaigns broken out into single product campaigns and single keyword campaigns. That's like the other end of the spectrum where you're just like hyper segmented, where every single ad dollar is going. So basically, the conversation around campaign structure stems from this. How aggregated or how segmented do you want your ad data to be? Or do you need it to be? Right? That's the starting point, right? You got to figure out what levers do you need to be able to pull, what data do you need to be able to investigate, analyze, and that's all going to kind of tie into how you go about setting up your campaigns from the beginning. If you go too far one way, you may not be able to access the settings and the tools to pull the right levers to move your account in the right direction. If you go too far the other direction, you may miss out on some of the algorithmic benefits that Amazon provides in some of these cases. So yeah, I'm excited to dig into this a little bit more and break down this a little bit further because, where do people even start, right? Like, how do I know how aggregated or segmented I want my campaigns to be? I'm just getting started setting up this account, setting up these campaigns. I don't know where to go. So throughout this episode, hopefully you'll get some tidbits to help inform and guide you on what is going to work best for you. I have some kind of like, golden truths or whatever you want to call them, kind of like benchmarks or just normal strategies that I go back to, right? I have like kind of a baseline structure and framework that I start from, and then I can kind of variate off of that. So we're going to be sharing that in this episode too.
Yeah.